guys to my YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be looking at how to develop pivot tables, do deep analysis with pivot tables, draw some dashboards again, but this is a little bit advanced from the ones we have been seeing. But it's just similar, it's just additional, techniques, additional tips and tricks we can actually apply in Microsoft Excel with pivot tables. So this is what we're going to be doing, and this is a dashboard that I've created, and I believe that by the end of the day you'll also know how to create such a dashboard, which is very interactive. As you can see, it changes according to, it's very interactive. You can change according to the years, according to a particular category, and everything is just dynamic. So we're going to, my name is Derek, and in this video we're going to be looking at pivot tables, advanced data analysis pivot tables. So we have sample data here, which is orders. It's orders data. It has the order ID, order date, order quantity, sales, ship mode, profit, unit price, customer name. So it's basically information about orders customers are making, the customer segments, and the product category actually they're ordering for. So it's quite good data to analyze. So first we need to convert this into a table, and I always like that because tables are good to convert into pivot, and even when you're adding additional data, it's always easy to add additional data into your Excel so that you can actually just refresh and everything. You don't have to again reference the data source. That's a bit hectic. So let's convert this into a table, and to convert this into a table we can simply click Control T. Okay, you can Control T. Okay, and it will ask you, sometimes it will not take this by default, but you have to take this so that your headers are included in your table. So this is the reference. It's referencing the Excel, the data. So this is where it's referencing. Actually, you can also change this if you're interested, but from the looks of things I think it has referenced all my data, so just click OK. So this is how it looks like. So tables are interesting. You can actually change to any style you want, but let me go with that. So right now my data is in a table. Initially it was not a table. So with a table you can do so much. So I can see it has referenced even the cells I do not want. So let me just undo and try to make sure it does reference exactly the cells I want. So another option, you could just highlight. If the data is later, you could just highlight and drag up to where it ends and simply insert, then use this insert table function. Okay, so something is wrong. And this will change a filter range to complete the task. Please remove the auto filter. So we need to first remove the auto filters. It's always important to get these errors when you're doing work, because they sometimes alert you. You cannot be perfect 100%. So let's just drag again. Up to there. So up to 1008. That's our own number. So we insert a table again. So click OK. So this time it has allowed because they don't have the filters. So it's very important also to note that when you're going to insert tables, you need to actually remove the filters first. So, but here they come back of course automatically. So I've chosen this color, so let me still go with that. So this is my table. Looks beautiful. I can remove the grid lines. I don't need them. Yeah, so this is how it looks like. And why I am putting this into a table, next time I want to add maybe a certain customer has come back, and and I want to add that information on top of the already existing information. So I just simply add it there, and my pivots and my dashboards will be automatically like updated when I click refresh. So for easy navigation around the table, you can always use the control arrows that is down, up, left, right. So if you want to go to the extreme end, you can press Control and you press the down arrow. It will take you to the very last, row of the table. Likewise, Control up to actually go back, or Control right to go to the extreme right, and like that. Yeah. So something also interesting about tables, you can always add a total column, the total row rather. Um, Under here, we can just simply go to table design and add table row. So when you do that, it can actually give you some simple formulas around here. When you click inside there, for example, here looking at the order, we could just say we want the sum of the order quantity. So that's the sum. Okay, the profit. Just simple analysis you can do it there even before you actually. Okay, so that was the profit. Yeah, it's basically it's good with the numbers, but also you can do the counting. For example, you want to do the counts of maybe the orders. Okay, so let's try here counts. So those are the counts of the orders to emit in terms of like the count. If it's the names, if there's a different people not sharing, like they did the same names, okay, you could still, but here you can see there's some duplicates, so this won't be really applicable here. But for example purposes, you I think have gotten what to do. So let me remove this. You just click that and remove it. So with this, I can simply I can give this actually a name. Let me give it a name. Click on table. Let me try to give it a name. Let me call it orders. Orders. Hospital. Oh no, sorry. Orders. Okay, let me give it orders TBL. Okay, so I've given it a name, so to be very easy for me actually to know that my table is called orders TBL. TBL meaning table for me. That's how I understand it. So let's insert the pivot tables, and to insert pivot tables, you simply go and insert the shortcuts, but I wouldn't recommend them for people who are beginning pivot tables. Although it's an advanced class, but it will be good to use the normal pivot tables here function under insert. So just click it, and we leave it the way it is. So as you can see, our table name is that, and then we can just click OK. So this is how pivot table looks like, and normally I don't like these grid lines. Those are the first things I remove. I go to page layout and I remove them. It's just blank now, and let me give this a name. Okay, let me just give it a name. Order analysis. Then let me create another one called dashboard. Dashboard. You will know why I'm calling that. Let me also remove its grid lines. Give it a nice background. I normally prefer just a little, little dark in there. That just simple that you may not actually really recognize the difference, but it's there. So these are pivot tables, and sometimes you may not see the field list because it's hidden. So you need to come here under the pivot table and analyze, and then you realize it's not ticked here. Okay, so you need to actually realize it's not ticked here. So you need to make sure it is ticked, and the pivot field list will come. So what do we want to analyze? We want to analyze our data according to, let's analyze according to product category. So I'll go with product category first. So we have furniture, office supplies, and technology. Those are product categories. So we want to know um, how many orders were made. Okay, the order quantity. Yes, let's. Oh, sorry. Order quantity. So we can just simply right click and we just add these two values. So those were the orders that were made per product category. So I think this is just just so nice. So we can easily tell that the office supplies actually had more orders than the rest of the product categories, and the least being the furniture. So that's already analysis that you're doing, okay? Yeah, but we don't want to stop there. We want to get to know more. We probably would want to know um, the sales made per product category. So just add these two values, and those are what the sales made. Let's just remove the decimal places. So when you look at this data, still it shows you that in as much as office supplies made the most orders in terms of order quantity, in terms of sales, the technology hadn't actually sold more. They made more sales. Okay, so let's add another one. Let's add profit column. Add it to, yeah. So let me make this beautiful. It's looking ugly right now, but let's give it some color. Let's give it some color. Okay, let's just name this product category. Product category, and then let's call this order number, order quantity, then sales, and profit is profit. Okay, so to make sure that actually this width of the columns is the same and does not actually change, we need to use the we need to untick the auto width function. And like in my earlier videos, I already showed you how to do that. You just simply right click within and you go to pivot table options, and then you auto fit column width on update. So every time I update, my width of the column will not change. So still we can easily tell that in as much as the technology made more sales than the rest of them, actually, yeah, it made more sales and actually made more profit. So it makes sense, makes perfect sense. So, and we can also do some graphic here. We can put in some color. We can just put in some color, and I think it looks good there. It looks good. The colors we shall play with them later, but right now, so we can actually always like inserting shapes and just just giving your table a name. Can call it product category. Next category. Product category. Just something simple. We just going through this. It's just something simple. Okay, like change the outline to white. Change the outline to white. Okay, that looks better. So I want this to be visible on a dashboard or to reflect on a dashboard. Just simply copy this, and probably I'm interested in the sales and the profits. Okay, so let me come to my dashboard here. Let me paste it exactly the way it is. Remember, you can paste it the way exactly it is, and it will not have any problem with that. Excel will allow that, and you can do anything. And this doesn't affect the original copy. This original copy now. For example, here we can decide to remove the order quantity, okay, and remember the sales and the profit, okay. So we can check again here. So you can see the original is intact. It doesn't affect it at all. It remains the way it is. So I'm interested in actually drawing a graph here, which I just simply click within the pivot table. Make sure your cursor is within the pivot table, and then you insert a pivot chart here. We're going to insert a pivot chart, and we're going to insert. Let's insert the. Okay, let's insert the bar chart. I think this is nice. Let's insert that. Depends on what you want. Uh, so product category, you can easily tell actually that the technology did more sales and actually did more profit. Office sales or office supplies did some sales and so furniture actually is somehow making not making some good money, but so you can do analysis depending on what you want. I know I remove those buttons. People have seen how I've removed them. Just simply right click in the button and I hide all the filled buttons on the chart. Then I can simply click here on the chart elements, which actually, by the way, you can also get when you go to the design tab, and chart elements are also here. So it's the same. It's just a shortcut. Okay, this is actually a shortcut for you to actually easily access these elements. So we put a chart title. It comes and just simply change it to maybe product 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 sales and profit. Me, I'm just formulating these headings. It depends on what heading you want to actually put. Give it some color there, and like I said, you can always change these colors. Okay, I showed you how to change those colors. You can change the theme, the entire theme, and make them look beautiful and all that. So we can also change this legend, and we can make it appear. Can make it appear the data legend. We can make it appear on top like that. Can border this a little bit and give it some that. Not even this. You can give it some like that. I don't know how that looks like, but you can also add some values if we really want. Then put in some data labels to represent actually the numbers. Okay, and then we can make this a little bit smaller. So we also need to change some properties here. We need the pivot chart options. No, these are okay. But we need to make sure this thing doesn't move when we do any, like when we use slicers and data graphs are sometimes they tend to move, but we shall see that later. So let's go back to our analysis, our order analysis table, and that is it for that. So like I told you, you don't have to again go back and insert a pivot table and do all those things. No, you simply can copy this in these versions. Actually, it's very allowable. And then let's say we want to put another table just right here. So we have to paste in the first option, and so this time we maybe we're interested in the ship mode. Ship mode, yeah. Let's do some ship mode analysis and see what happens. Let's take that order quantity, product category. So this time we ship mode. Oh, that's right. Okay. So ship mode. Ship mode. So we're trying to analyze actually the ship mode. How many, for example, orders came by which ship mode, delivery truck, express air, regular air, and stuff like that. Okay. So basically, you can tell how many orders were actually were taken by the different ship modes, as you can see, a delivery truck by express air. So we can try to remove the product category and remain with just the modes. We can change this to ship mode. So it can show you that actually most of the orders were by regular air. So maybe they were using air, regular air. So to actually fulfill these orders, so we can give this a color, and we can decide to take this and put it on our dashboard as well, and put a small table here. So I don't know if you've seen what has happened. So when you try to paste, you see the graph moves. The graph moves, okay? The graph moves when you try to paste in the table. So that's okay, but we want to make sure it does not move again. So let's first actually try to make sure that doesn't happen. Let's data elements and let's click on okay chat. Let's click on okay. Let's just okay, let's try more options and let's try. Let's just try right click and then we say for March. The function is it's disappearing. It's disappearing. Forgetting it's very very funny. So let's simply double click this and it will come. I know. So we just simply click the size and properties, and then we go to properties. Then we make sure that whenever anything we do in our dashboard, do not move all size with the cells. So it will not move all size with the cells. So let's look that. Let's click that. Let's click that. So assuming, let me delete this, and now I want to paste it again. I want to copy and paste it again. My dashboard. So you realize nothing happens. It doesn't move, okay? And that's what we want. That's what we want. So those are some of the advanced features actually you need to utilize in pivot tables, and they're quite simple ones, and they can really keep your work organized. So let's try to insert a pie chart here. I like pie charts. Let's insert this one so that we able to tell which mode of delivery would took more orders than others. Okay, so you can remove this and try to play with the layout here. I normally like that layout. The colors you can always change anytime. So 75% of actually the orders were by regular air. That's already analysis we're having there. Okay, we can name this ship mode. Give it a ship mode name. Okay, ship mode, and that's it. I mean, you can just put in a little bit of designs and all that. Okay, let's maintain our color. Okay, just increase the font if you want. Just click within these numbers and percentages rather. You'll just increase a little bit. And you can also move around these if you really want them to be inside. You can make sure they're inside. Okay, so you can actually resize this to be the same size as that. At the end of this we shall actually group them. We shall group them. So you double click this also to make sure it has the other properties so that it doesn't move. Okay. Yeah. So let's go and analyze more data here. So this is just copy this and sorry. So I just want this. I don't want to insert again. So can control and click there and I drag. So you just control and you drag. You don't have to copy and paste sometimes, you just simply do that. So let me call this ship mode. Okay, so we're up to more analysis. We are doing more analysis. Okay, we are doing more analysis. Right. Okay, so let's copy this again, and this time let's try to paste it. Let's try to paste it there. Now, what do we want? What do we analyze? What do we analyze? Customer segment. Have we tried that? So, customer segment. So, in terms of the customer segment, we have the consumer, the corporate. I mean, these are like classes of consumers, home, office, small business. So, we want also to see to analyze in terms of order, in terms of the sales that were made to these different customer segments. Oh, sorry, customer segments. Customer segments. Okay, so in terms of order, let me just give this another color. So it's important to give different colors so that so you click in and then control, you press control and you drag. It's as simple as that, and you can give this a different color like that one, and then we can say this is customer segment. Customer segment. So that is how our pivot table looks like, and of course from this we can easily tell that the the corporate class had more orders. Actually had they took more orders than the rest of the classes. And how, if you want to easily tell that, you can also put in some conditional formatting to just simplify your work, and so that you do not actually sometimes have to struggle a lot. Okay, yeah, so you can just do that. If you want to know who is profiting more, you can use a different color there, and try to make it look beautiful. Okay, so the corporate class seems to be profiting. We actually, we're profiting more from the corporate class, which I think is expected because they are corporate after all. So, and from our table, we can also try to change this into a graph by copying it and pasting it here. So we want to make a dashboard at the end of the day. And by the way, we can get rid of these tables if we want and remain with only a graphs. But for this particular exercise, I didn't want to do that. I wanted us to first understand why it's important to have the tables also around. So let's remove, we're not interested in the orders so much, interested in the sales and the profit. Every entrepreneur is interested in the profit. Of course, the profit comes from the sales in most cases. It's an assumption that if you're doing more sales, you should be doing more profit. It's an assumption because otherwise, sometimes it's otherwise. Of course, you may do more sales but also make losses. So let's insert a simple. This time let's insert a horizontal bar. Okay, that looks good. Remove the buttons. We hide all the filled buttons on the chart, and we can drag this around to where we want it to be. Okay, let's put it there. So let's give it data labels. Not that, data labels. So these data labels, you can also give them something nice. To make sure they actually look good. Can change the way they look. Okay, I'm just trying to make them look a little bit by putting these dashes, these dash boundaries in to look a little bit more good. Yeah, So actually we can also do the same here. Try to make them look good. Let's first make, so we can give them the weight if you want. Can increase their weight. For example, if you increase their weight there, that's how they look like. Okay. Okay, for learning purposes, let's just leave the weight there so that people get to appreciate the importance of weight. So sometimes you can give them weight, but also want to maybe put in something extra like dashes, and then that is how it looks like. Okay. Yeah. So we can give this a chart title. Definitely don't forget that chart titles are important. Let's give it a chart title, and these are customer segments. So it's important to know our customer segments because it helps us to target our markets, like to have targeted marketing and know which category of people actually we should actually concentrate on. Yeah, that's why it is important, that one. So again, the width of this we can always adjust to make sure they're the same. And then let's try to make the legend appear on top. I really like it like that. Okay. So also we make sure that this our graph does not move. I'm going to properties and then we say don't move. Okay. And so let's go back to our word analysis. So we can copy this again and copy it here. Now, what do we want to analyze this time? Go to fill list and the buttons will come. So let's say we're interested in the customer name. Okay, we want to know the customer name. So the names are quite many, so we may not actually be interested in this because the names are quite many. So that will not be a point of interest right now, but if you're interested, you can also know how much each of these guys actually is contributing, how much profit, how much sales actually are being made on every guy here. Okay, so for now we're not going to go into that. We can just simply know the number of customers if we want, yeah, just that. We can just simply know the number of customers probably from each from each customer segment. Let's say customer segment, and then we want to know, okay, let's first remove this. We want to know how many customers are within the segment. Okay, so we just simply click and just drag here. So you've realized it has come as a count because we want to actually, that's what we want. We want to count how many so this thing, just put a small space there to allow. Okay, so that one will tell you actually how many customers belong to each of the segments. So it appears like the corporate class has more customers, and then the small business has the smallest of all. So I could just beautify this a little bit and give it some color. Let's give it green. Okay, so let's maintain our color here because we want our dashboard to really come out well. So just press Ctrl here and let's use this, and you drag, just as simple as that. Then we can change this title to, okay, that one customer names, then there's the customers. Those are the customers. Okay, so we can call this some customers per segment. Per segment. Okay, yeah, so that is it. That is quite it. Do you want to put this into a graph? Okay, maybe let's try to put it here. Let's try to put it there and can put in a graph. Sometimes, by the way, you can use the recommended. It will bring a recommended, which you really want. It has recommended that. And let me just take that just to have a graph. Okay, you can call this is a customers per segment. Okay, customers per segment. Okay, it's just simple. You can already actually play with these graphs and change them to whatever graph you want. You can change them to anything you actually want. Okay, well, let's go with that dark one just for purposes of learning. Let's just go with that. Let's drag this and put it there. So it looks like our dashboard actually is coming to life. It's really coming to life. We have now quite a number of these graphs. So let's put in the labels. We don't forget the labels. We can put them inside this time, inside the base. Okay. Okay, so they are inside there. You can see you can increase their font. Just then you can double click here and double click outside and double click again. Make sure this doesn't move. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we're still doing analysis. We forgetting something about the time. Okay. So let's include the time aspect in our analysis. That actually will make much sense. So let's copy this and paste it here. So this time we're interested in these orders were made. It's very important to put in the time aspect also to do analysis based on that. So we can draw graphs like for the trends and all that. So I'm seeing the order date here. So let's try to put in the order date here. So as you can see, there was a time aspect 2008, 2009 up to 2012. So this is also important in terms of analysis. It actually shows you when these guys actually achieved their most profits. When was that? So let's first remove the product category and see when these guys make the most sales. Okay, just by the look of, just look through and tell. From the look of things here, they made more sales in 2009 actually. That's when they just had actually started, and then the biggest profits were still in that time. So as it's going down, their profits actually are reducing. Okay, their profits actually are reducing. So that's why it's very key to keep track of the trends in sales and profits. Okay, so let's also put in even the orders. In terms of orders, the orders have really been, they have been up and down. They're fractal. So it's very important because now we can tell which year they made more profits, which year they made losses, and things like that. So we can also put this actually in a graph. Again, I told you this we're just doing for learning purposes, but sometimes we don't need these tables. You may not need these tables. I'll show you how actually you can deal with this. So let's say we want to see how many orders, how many how much profit was made, like that. So we want to see all this in a graph. So let's put in, let's insert, then we can use pivot chart. And okay, let me use line graphs. It's the years. Let me try to use line graphs. So so actually this is good. This is good that it has come like this. So when you realize that actually if you try to put everything on the same graph, they have different scales. So the graph may not make any sense, especially when you look at the orders, their scale is so different. So let's just remove the order quantity and remain with sales and the profit. Okay, yeah. So we can insert our line graph once again. The bar looks good, but to me I would like to see the trends in terms of line graph. Okay, so let's see how that one looks like. Okay, okay, that's not bad, but still it's not really coming out the way I wanted. It's but it still can work. We can work around it and it can look better. Can work around it, it can look much better. So we can play around with the colors and all that. So there are different types of graphs. Let's take that and we can give it a chart title. Sales, trends in sales and profit. Trends in profit and the sales. So let's give them labels here. Yes, the data labels above. Let's put them above and here above. So let me change this color. It's not what I want. Let me change this to, oh, I need to change the outline and also that. Okay, that's okay, I think. So we can also give this more life. Okay, give them more life. I don't know, how is that? So okay, that's what I've managed to come up with in terms of the period aspect. We can reduce this and so we can make these graphs as small as we want. I'll reduce the, you can reduce them and make a lot of graphs. I'm telling you, you can make a lot of graphs. Excel is too big. These graphs are just a bunch of small things. So as you can see, that's where we are in terms of our dashboard, and at this point we can start giving it a name. I just so this one is moving when I move. I need to make sure it doesn't move. The rest of the graphs are not moving, but for it it's moving, so it will not move again. Okay, it will not move again. So let me just give this a name. Okay, we are giving it a name. We're giving a dashboard a name. Let's call it order. Let's call it, okay, I'm seeing some cells and sales. Let's call it sales and profit dashboard. So if it's a company, put the company name, blah 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 blah, things like that. Things like that. Let's give it let's just give it some life. That's what I call life. Just give it some life. I mean, the color is not the best, but and by the way, I would love my things to be in Calibro. Everything I would love to be in Calibro. Okay. So you can always size this. You can always click. Make sure they are aligned. Okay. The alignment is to the left, so that they're the same, and do the same for the rest. So we're still doing the time analysis. So we may want to dig deep. Actually, we want to dig deep to see the months. You see the small plus here is what you click on. Now it's bringing quarters, but still we may be interested in actually seeing the months. Okay, per year. Okay, so you just have simply actually keep 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 going deeper and deeper and deeper. Okay, to go back you just have to click that minus sign and you'll go back. Okay, yeah, simple as that. And it's quite interesting to me. This is quite good. This is quite good. It's quite good. So I think that's where we are for now. Let's give this a title. Let's give this a title. Let's call it sales and profit. Sales and profit. Trends. Let's call it trends in sales and profits. Trends in sales and profits. Give it more life. Give it life. Give it life. Okay, that's life. Oh, this is hidden. It shouldn't be like that. Get some life. Oh, these are things you can actually familiarize yourself with, and they are really, really, really good. Okay. So, do we want to do more analysis? If yes, we can continue, and dig deeper into these tables. We can actually dig deeper. So let's try something else. Let's try to think of something else, just randomly out of nowhere. So would we be interested in knowing the customers per or like over the years, something like that? Okay, maybe customers over the years. Customers over the years. We can talk customers over the years. Let's put this to values. Yeah, so it has actually brought it has counted the number of customers over the years. Okay, customer segment. Oh, we're using customer segment. No, let's use customer name, but I think it will bring the same thing because it's a count. It's a count. So some customers will be counted twice, and I think that's okay for now. Okay, so but still the same. As you can see, customers were 1240 in 29. They increased tremendously by 30 customers, then they dropped by 30 again, then they so you can also put this on actually a line graph and represent it. Let's try to give it a name. Okay, let's call them customers. Give it some life. You have to give it some life, guys. You have to give it some life so it looks good. I don't know if it looks good, but you gotta give it some life. Okay, so that is how you can actually tell that if your customer base is increasing or reducing, or you can do a what if analysis that what do you assume the number of customers will be in the next 1 or 2 years, and that is the what if analysis. But we're not going to go into that right now. Mhm. The what if analysis, I think some people know it. Yeah, it's quite a good one you can actually use. It's called what if analysis. Data. We're not going to go into that today. So we can beautify this. We can put in our color there. If you want, copy this, put it in our dashboard, and do the same thing. So I think by now you're familiar with most of the steps on how to do these things, and I don't think it's hard. It's quite something that you need to give it some time, practice. Yeah, practice makes perfect, they say. Okay, practice makes perfect. Yeah, practice makes perfect. So that is how it is. That is how it is. You can make it look more good. If you want, you can actually change the type. Can we change the type? Yes, just try. Maybe let's put this on a. Okay, let's put that one makes sense. The customer order. Then we're trying to make a bar graph and then line graph for the customers line graph. No, we do it vice versa. No, I think that's perfect. But also vice versa it can work. Let's try to make it vice versa. To make the order would make it that, and then we make this the number of customers actually a line graph. So that is how it look like, and we can hide this, give this a chart title. That's a must. You can say trends in customers, trends in customers. Yeah, you can always put the period, those things. Of course, the must, the when, the where, the what. They must appear in your description. This is just for learning purposes. Maybe in future I will be including that in my tutorials. Yeah, but for learning purposes, I'm just, of course, even in the interest of time, we just going we're just going through this so that we don't waste such a lot of time. So we can make these legends appear on top. I always make sure they appear on top. Looks better there. Let's give it some color. I'm going to always twist these colors to give you what you want. As data labels, this time I'm going to put them inside. Okay, put them inside as you can see there. I can also give them some life. Let me give them some life. You know what I mean? Let me give them some life. Yep, there they have their life, and yeah, to me that looks better. So guys, do not forget, of course, the must, the axis, the horizontal axis, and the vertical axis. Those need to be labeled. You need to label the period. You need to label the quantity, because your chart must make sense. Okay. Yeah. For example, here you need to make sure that I was ignoring that because I thought uh, it's obvious that people know, but let me just try to label this. So these are orders. Okay. So I was just assuming, but it seems it's not good to assume. Then you can insert in the other. You can put in the secondary horizontal axis. Let's call this maybe period in years. Just looks much better with this. Then the last one, we can put the secondary. Okay, this we say is a customer. So quick analysis, customers actually increased in 2010, but I think that was the highest that we had in 2020 in 2010 here. That was the highest actually. We can also put these labels there. Just put them above so that they are much visible there above. Okay. So you can also give some life to this line or break its life. This time it's breaking life because we're going to put some dashes so that okay, just like that. Okay. Then we can let's copy this. Let's first make sure it's not movable. It doesn't move. You double click there and make sure it doesn't move. So we can copy this. We can actually cut it and put it here. Okay. So I did not do this for the rest of the graphs because I was assuming. Yeah, but guys, it's important that you label your graphs very well for for easy interpretation by your managers, you people you're working with. If you're a freelancer, you need to make sure that everything actually is perfect. You have to perfect your work. Yeah, you have to perfect your work. So, guys, these are the graphs we've come up with so far. Yeah, this color is not blending. So as I told in my earlier videos, we can change the colors with schemes. We can change them to the whatever we want. You can see how they change. You can just pick any you want. There are quite many. I've got mine. Any that interests you, actually, you can just go with that. Okay. Let me go with this. I'm just random, guys. It's not magic. I just picked randomly, and I can go with that. For now, I can go with that. So the next step, we are going to put in our slices, and I believe we all know what slices are. If we don't know, slices are the ones that are going to actually help us also analyze our data even much better. But before we put in our slices, maybe something I forgot. We need to group this just so that within the same thing, like within. So we just press control, and you hold, and then click each and every graph. Make sure we're going to try to group them so that they are together. Okay, so that when you move one, it can move with. So you can just right click and then group, or you can go to the group option, which is right here. Let's group this. So now they are one. So meaning that they are still dynamic. They are still pivot charts, but it's one chart actually. It's one chart. So let's try to give them some slices. So just click in one. One is enough actually. Then you insert and you click slicer. Okay. So what do we need? We need the order date. Yes. We need the shipment mode. Yes. We need the customer name if we are interested in looking at a particular customer. Yes. But right now, I would say I would not need that. So I will need the customer segment, then the product. Oh, this order date is divided in 2 years and quarters. So let's go with years instead of that. So let's click OK. So some date formats actually are invalid, as you can see, but we shall ignore that. I'm going to ignore that. I don't know. In the original data, they were not okay. Look at the date format. Some date formats are not really coming out well. We don't know why. But that's not so big right now. Let's first concentrate on these slices. So I'm arranging my slices so that I can be able to actually use them very well. Shape mode. Okay. Yeah, shape mode. So I'm arranging my slices so that they are well placed, well organized, and I can easily use them for my analysis. So if there is any slicer you want to add, you can also add it. So these slicers also, you can change their color by just simply clicking in the slicer, and then go to the slicer, and you can change the color like that. Okay, just as simple as that. Just as simple as that. So yeah, so right now when you click one slicer, let's say customer, it's only this graph that changes. Okay, so if you want to go back to the normal slicer, you click this red cross, then you go back to your normal slices. But realize they are not yet dynamic. When you click one, it really doesn't actually change the rest, but we want it to change everything in this sheet called dashboard. We want it to be dynamic in entirely the whole sheet. So what do we do to make sure that happens? We connect these slicers to make sure that the entire Excel sheet, or the entire sheet we are dealing with, which is dashboard, is actually connected with the slices. So we simply right click in one of the slices, and we shall click in each of the slicers to make sure these connections actually are connected all through. So you realize you have pivot name, and then we have sheet name. So we are in dashboard sheet. So we only want to connect the pivot tables within the dashboard sheet. So the order analysis is what we are dealing with. We don't want that. We only want to connect these. So we just tick these pivot tables which are in dashboard. So click OK. Okay, go to this one. Do the same. Okay, do the same. Do the same, please. And click OK. Go to this and also do the same. Report connections. Make sure you're clicking in dashboards only. Do the same. Do also go to this and do the same. Okay, so I hope I'm right there. Let me double check if everything is connected. Oh, this one isn't connected. So what does that imply? Let's try to zoom in a little bit. And okay, what does this imply? So let's try to click just a segment, corporate, and see what happens. Okay, yes, let's just click segment corporate. See, it only brings information about the corporate. Even the trends, everything is about the corporate. Okay, that's how interesting actually it is. So make this a little bit dark. Okay, I don't know, the theme which I chose is not good, but we can change the theme like I told you. Can play around with the theme. It's not a big deal. I like playing around with the themes like that. So, so for us to, we can also change and see how the home office is doing. So you realize it will change everything to home office. Okay, so it's just that nice. It's just that nice, guys. It's just that nice. So if we want to only see probably the data for 2010, click 2010, and it only bring data for 2010. So you're already doing analysis. This one is really not. Why? I don't know why this something is not right here. Yeah, those are expected when you're doing analysis. Those are expected. Okay, it's now fine. So guys, that is how we can do simple dashboards, and we can also apply these slices in the tables here. We can apply those slices in the table here. Okay, so let's try to input some slices here. Let's just put them here. Just put them here inside slicer and put in this. Oh, we need to click within the pivot table. Sorry. So put in a slicer for the years, the product category, the segment, the ship mode, and then let's try that first. So it really doesn't matter where you put the slices, as long as where you put them in, it's very easy for you to access them and use them for the right purpose. Yeah, and slices can be adjusted to whatever size you want. They are really not limiting. You can adjust them to whatever size you want. Yeah, but we shall have another class for advanced slicers where we're going to be looking at how to format the slicers, change the color, make it like do lots of things. Yeah, we're going to do that in our advanced slicers lesson. So guys, you can adjust the slicers like I told you. You can adjust them to whatever size you want. Okay, let's adjust them. Let's make them smaller. Okay, let's make them smaller. Okay, can actually group them so that they they're together. Okay, but before we group them, let's first connect them. Let's first connect them, and we should go to report connections. Now this time we're not going to tick anything that contains dashboard because it will affect the other dashboard if we do. So we're only going to concentrate with order analysis. Order analysis. We're going to tick everything. Order analysis. And mind you, if you do not want a particular pivot table to be affected by the slicer, then you don't tick it. That's why it's important that you name your pivot tables. I think I will show you how to name the pivot tables. Let me first go through this. I'll show you how to name the pivot tables so that actually you do not you can easily actually tell which pivot table is which. So here we're just taking everything because we want everything to be interactive. We want everything to be connected to each other in our order analysis sheet. Yeah, so we have connected everything. So we can group them now. And then right click and then group. So they are together. We can also put just a shape to make it look good. Can just put a shape on top. Then we send the shape backwards. Okay, so that the slicers sit on the shape. So we can adjust the shape, and we can group now the shape with the slices again. We can now group again. Okay, can group them again. First time group, and then can group again. So now they are together. Can move them together. I think that was nice. Maybe we can work around the color if you really want to work around the color and things like that. Okay. So to name your pivot tables, you just simply click in the pivot table and you go to pivot table analyze and you change the name. For example, let's name this customer segment. Okay. Simply go to pivot table analyze, and then you see it's pivot 23. That's the default name that Excel gives it, but we need to name it so that we can easily differentiate the table from the rest of the table. So we can give it a name like customer segment. So right now it's named customer segment. So we can even try to see if we try to go to report our slices. It's named customer segment now. It's no longer pivot 23 or something. So it's very easy for you if you want to connect particular tables. It's very easy for you to tell when your pivot tables are named. Of course, I didn't name them because as running along to time is not on our side here. We need to do things very fast. We shall learn that in our next videos in advanced data analysis. So that is it, guys. That is it. We can also do the same here. We can group this. Okay, can group this and make sure they look good. Okay, so we didn't test our tables here to see if actually they're interactive. but we can test 2010 and we see everything changes. Okay, corporate. So if you want to let go of this, just simply let go from there. Technology, guys, this is interesting. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. The more you subscribe, the more videos, the more knowledge. Thank you, guys.